Okay, hello second graders. Today we're looking at lesson 8-8. They're going to ask us to work with AM and PM times. So AM refers to the hours that happen in the morning, and PM refers to the hours that happen in the afternoon and later in the evening. We're going to find that on page 485 in your books. So if you can please make sure you have out your pencil and your books. I'm going to share my workspace with you now. So that's good. There we go. All right. Make sure we can see this together. We're on lesson 8-8. The page number, once again, is 485. And on that page, I see Carlos with his workspace here. I'm going to read while you follow in your book. It says, look at the clock and tell what time Ethan wakes up for school. Write the time on the digital clock and circle morning or evening. Okay, so we need to identify what time Ethan wakes up, and we have our starter sentence here. Ethan wakes up at, and they show us the analog clock. We need to fill in the digital clock. So looking at my two hands, I know that I start with the smaller hand first, right? That's my hour hand. And when I look at my smaller hand, I see it's in between the 6 and the 7 o'clock hour. Okay, so like we talked about before, when it's in between two numbers, it's always going to be in the smaller hour. Okay, so in this case, that would be 6. So my hour is 6. I'm going to go ahead and fill that in first. Okay, now I'm going to be looking at my minutes. I know my minute hand is my bigger hand, and that's going to count by 5s, right? And once again, I'm going to be counting the jumps, right? So I start at the top, and I'm going to count each jump by 5. Okay, you can count with me, please. It sounds like this. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. Good. So we came to 30 for our minutes. So the time is 6:30. Okay, now we need to figure out if they're talking about 6:30 morning or 6:30 in the evening. All right, well, we know that this is the time that Ethan wakes up. So it would make most sense that that is 6:30 in the morning, right? So we're going to go ahead and circle morning. All right, so let's go ahead and look at the next page. Get some more practice identifying times in AM versus PM. The first box says you can use the terms AM and PM to tell about time. And Carlos reminds us, use AM for morning times. I wake up at 8 a.m. Use PM for afternoons or evening times. I go to bed at 8 p.m. Okay, let's look at the first box. I eat breakfast at, and they show the analog clock here showing 8:20. So they write that also in the digital. And then we need to identify AM or PM. So if it's breakfast time, we know that it's going to be AM because AM are the morning hours. All right. Box number 2 says, I eat lunch at school at, and it shows us the analog clock first. So I know I'm in the 11 o'clock hour. It's not quite to 12 yet. And counting by 5s going around, that's 11:45. So we're going to go ahead and write that in our digital clock. And if he's eating lunch, is that going to be AM or PM? Remember, 11:45 at night would be really late, like very close to midnight. But 11:45 in the AM is very close to noon. Okay, so that would be about the time that most people are eating lunch, 11:45 a.m. All right, and then finally, if we look at this last box, I eat dinner with my family at, okay, so here we have our hour hand. It's between 6 and 7, so we know it's going to be the smaller hour, right, which is 6. And then my minute hand counts by 5s, so that would be 6:30. All right, now if he's eating dinner, is that going to be AM or PM? Yeah, it's going to be in the evening time, so it's going to be PM. Okay? All right, let's take a peek at the guided practice together. It says complete the clocks, so both clocks show the same time. Then circle AM or PM to tell when you would do each activity. Okay, number 1, ride the bus to school. Okay, so I'm going to start with my analog clock. Okay, I start with the smaller hand. Smaller one goes first. It is in between 8 and 9 in this case. So again, if it's in between two numbers, it's going to go to the smaller one. It's in that smaller hour. So this is in the 8 o'clock hour. I'm going to start there. And then my minute hand is going to count by 5s, beginning at the top, and we're going to count the jumps. So let's count together. Here we go. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45. That's where I stop. So my minutes are 45. So altogether I have 8:45. And I know that they're going to ride the bus to school, not home from school, but to school. So that would be in the AM, because that's the morning hours. Okay, let's take a peek at number 2. Do your homework. Okay, do your homework. So traditionally, think about the time that homework is given and done, which is after school, right? After the regular school hours. So this time they give us the digital clock, and it says 4:30 on there. So we're going to have to add the hands. I know my 4 is going to be my hour, so that's my small hand. So I'm going to find the 4, and I'm going to make a small hand. Okay, going to 4. And then my minute hand is my big hand, and that's 30 for my minutes. So I'm going to count my jumps until I get to 30. Okay, count with me. Here we go. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. There, I landed at 6. So I'm going to make that big hand going down to 6 or 4:30. Okay, and homework again is done, usually traditionally done after school, so that would be in the PM time. Okay, in the afternoon. All right, let's go ahead and take a look then at our independent practice. The directions ask us to complete the clocks, so both clocks show the same time, and then circle AM or PM to tell when you would do each activity. Okay, so same process that we just did in our guided practice. All right, you're going to complete numbers 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8 with those same directions. Okay, all right, guys. You're learning a lot about how clocks work and how time works, so I'm really proud of you. You guys have very much persevered through this chapter, and I just want to recognize that and let you guys know how proud I am of you. All right, I hope you have a great rest of the day, and I will be seeing you very soon. Take care. Bye.